Hello, are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
Good evening,
Okay.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
getting.
definitely.
Yes, very good evening, everybody. Meeting again in the session of Mater Medica, and we're going to learn very important remedy, a constitutional remedy, in fact, from the our homeopathic Mater Medica, that is Ferrum Metallicum. It is a big remedy, and Ferrum Metallicum we have to understand into all its depth. I will going to share two cases first, and followed by Allen's notes Mater Medica. First important thing, this remedy, I have way back, I have treated one case of frozen shoulder, left frozen shoulder. This was a man, 40 years of age, looking anemic, tremendously anemic, who came with left frozen shoulder associated with a severe lumbago. So this was presenting future. Then he told me that I have taken treatment about for this left frozen shoulder. I am not able to raise this leg, this shoulder like this. This was not possible. He used to come to this and not more than that. That was his problem. That is specifically he is not able to raise left hand like this, and even not to backside. So he said that I have taken a lot of treatment. In fact, one of the practitioner who has given me injection in left shoulder, and that is the only line of treatment available. That is, they give the steroids directly into the joints. He has taken that, but it never relieved his complaints. But because of continuous use of the painkillers, strong painkillers, he suffered from gastritis, and there is a immediate vomiting. Whenever he used to eat, immediately it was thrown away. That was very important thing which he has mentioned. That doctor, since last 1 month, I'm not able to eat, because of which I'm become weak and weak, and I don't have a strength. Then I asked about one more thing, that what aggravates your complaint? And then he said, I cannot tolerate the eggs. Whenever I used to eat the eggs, there is severe pain in abdomen, and sometimes I used to vomit it out. That's very important. And this fellow looking fat, flabby. His constitution is flabby, but he is pale. Generally, if you look towards him, you feel that he is uh, looking like a red, but he was not like that. If you find it out, the hands, they are absolutely pale. So I asked about the details. Whenever I used to think about left shoulder, frozen shoulder, I used to think first Ferrum Metallicum. That is very important remedy for left shoulder rheumatism or left deltoid rheumatism and left frozen shoulder. So anemia was there. Second important, he was having lumbago. Third was egg intolerance. That is very characteristic about this remedy. Then vomiting as soon as he used to eat. That was very important. So I was just asking him what else, anything else, or I was taking about or looking toward the mind. Mind is not so characteristically explained about that Ferrum Metallicum, but there is one symptom. And then he said, Doctor, one thing I want to tell you. I cannot tolerate noise in my ear. I want quiet place. Noise, even you are just changing the pages, and that sound also irritates me. This indicates whenever we think sensitivity to noise to such a level, we think of Asaram, we think of Theridion. But I have opened the Materia Medica, and this is Ferrum Metallicum is also given for the sensitivity to the noise, cannot tolerate the noise, even the noise of the papers. So the remedy was very clear. Then modalities, there was only one modality that he used to tell me, that either if whenever I used to sit, I used to get aggravated. Whenever I am walking fast, I get aggravated, but I can walk slowly. If I am walking slowly, I feel better, but I cannot walk fast. That was his complaint. So the whole story revolving around the Ferrum Metallicum, I said, let us start with Ferrum Metallicum. I have given Ferrum Metallicum 1 m 3 doses on day 1, day 2, Ferrum Met 1 m 3 more doses, and continued with placebo. Within span of 15 days, when he returned, most important thing which he told, that doctor, my stomach has better very nicely. And second important thing, pain in my left shoulder is much better. I'm able to raise up to this level now. And he has shown me like that. And now I'm thinking, I'm considering that within next 15 or days or 1 month, I am able to turn that. This he had the confidence. So I never repeated the dose. I have kept him on placebo and I observed that let me see after the 15 days. He came again after 15 days. He was more happy than earlier. His pallor was decreased. That is very important. He started eating properly, and because of which the anemia was recovering and his strength returned back. That was very important. Left shoulder, frozen shoulder, that has as good as recovered completely. Only 10% pain was there whenever he extends it, or external rotation whenever he tries to do. Forceful external rotation was painful, or forceful internal rotation was painful. Otherwise, 90% recovery was there. So it is a wonderful remedy for left shoulder rheumatism. Don't forget, this is a very important thing. If it is right shoulder rheumatism, think of sanguinaria canadensis. That is very important remedy. Whenever the right shoulder rheumatism is there, or there is one word which is used, right deltoid rheumatism. You think of sanguinaria. That is very important remedy for that. So you have to compare sanguinaria for right shoulder rheumatism, left shoulder rheumatism. It's very specifically the Ferrum Metallicum. So that was first case, and which was treated very nicely. I have used 1M because I wanted result more at the inner level. It is at the joint level. So it is not only the muscular, but even at the joint level, the necessary result was needed. So penetrating potency is always a higher potency. 1M is better penetrating potency in such level. So I have chosen the Ferrum Metallicum 1M. Second case was interesting. 18 years female, again a flabby, relaxed, weak, very weak, anemic, tremendously anemic. Her hemoglobin was only 5 gram when she was brought to me. And she was continuously on iron tonic since last 1 year. Most important thing was that she had a menorrhagia, and menorrhagia was continuously there since last 2 years, and she was not getting recovered. Menses used to happen very early. They were very profuse and they used to remain for longer time of duration. All those things were there. She was getting more and more irritable because of this anemia, and she was not tolerating anything. Whenever someone contradicts, she used to become angry. That was one important thing which was told by her mother. Second important thing her mother told, doctor, she used to eat a lot. She had a good appetite, but she passes stools which contains undigestible food particles. She will not going to tell you, but I will tell you because she has told this to me. Liontaria is very specific. That is what is called as a liontaria. Abrotanum is the remedy. The first sentence in abrotanum, alternate diarrhea and constipation, liontaria. Liontaria means stool contains undigestible food particle. But abrotanum constitution is absolutely emaciated, specifically the emaciation of lower extremities only, or marasmus of lower extremities only. That is a different constitution. Ferrum Metallicum has a different constitution. Ferrum Metallicum, it is a pseudoplethora. It looks flabby. They are generally looks like edematous, and looks like that they are having good flesh on their body. So you can very easily differentiate. But still, they had a severe anemia. So it is secondary to two things. Stools were lionteric. And second important thing was that menorrhagia was persistent since 2 years. That was blood loss is there. Hemorrhagic diathesis is also covered with the Ferrum Metallicum, and it is a wonderful remedy for that. Then I have clinically examined, and when I clinically examined, she had a typical anemic murmur. Anemic murmur is mentioned by Boric in his Materia Medica. If you read that under the chest, anemic murmur is mentioned under the Ferrum Metallicum. So severe is the anemia with the Ferrum Metallicum. So Even iron tonics, whenever not giving the results, pulsatilla is one more remedy one should not forget. But pulsatilla is absolutely thirstless. Pulsatilla doesn't have her own say. Pulsatilla is absolutely dependent lady. She don't have confidence. Ferrum is not like that. Ferrum is firm. Ferrum is firm. Ferrum is decision making. So Ferrum and pulsatilla are opposite. Even though the pulsatilla is also flabby constitution, the Ferrum is also having flabby constitution. But the sensitivity to the noise is very marked with Ferrum, which is not there with the pulsatilla. Pulsatilla is VP remedy, continuously weeping, where even while narrating the same time she weeps. So it is very easy to differentiate between the pulsatilla and this remedy. So I have selected again Ferrum Metallicum, but in this case, I have not started with high potency. In this case, I have started with, in fact, 30 in repeated doses for 4 days, followed by the bi-combination 15 for menorrhagia. It is bi-combination 15 is it is very specifically for menstrual irregularities or menstrual problems. WHO recommended bi-combination 15 is for that condition. So I started her on 15 along with that. And when I have given the first 3 doses on day 1, she was recovered from the second day. When she came for follow-up on after 15 days, she said, "Doctor, you have given 3 doses. I felt so better. Next day, bleeding was stopped." So it worked so nicely in her case. And thereafter, she had a steady recovery. Her anemia recovered completely. She got very good strength. And next menses happened to be there completely exactly after 30 days. So that was big change that she had a regular menses. She continued treatment nearly about 4-5 months, and she had every time the menses after 30 days. So this is very important remedy in early profuse menses whenever menorrhagia persists with anemic murmur. Don't forget this anemic murmur in cases of Ferrum Metallicum. Second important thing, these are the ladies who are very sensitive to noise. That sensitivity one should not forget with the Ferrum Metallicum. So pseudoplethoric, whenever you look towards it, looks reddish, and later on you find it out the pallor is marked, and you check the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is very less. So this is one important remedy one should not forget for that. Now we will open Allen's keynotes. We'll learn certain aspects of Allen's keynotes in today's session, and tomorrow we'll continue with it. Tomorrow I will share 2 more cases of Ferrum Metallicum. This remedy, I will suggest you one book written by Dr. Rajesh Shah on Ferrum Metallicum. It is only on Ferrum Metallicum, a big book, 80 pages or 100 pages. Wonderful explanation of the ferrum he has mentioned over there. Ferrum Metallicum, iron, the element. This remedy was proved by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, a very deep acting remedy, very deep acting. Action is nearly about 50 days action mentioned by Boric. Persons of sanguine temperament, sanguine means bloody temperament, looks a reddish, looks angry. That is sanguine temperament. They are bloody, they are irritable, they are angry. This is very typical. Sanguine temperament, they are hot-blooded personalities. They are not cold-blooded, hot-blooded personalities. Sanguine temperament. Temperament is a tendency towards certain things. So, persons of sanguine temperament, pettish. Pettish means irritable, chidkhor. Pettish is chidkhor, irritable. Quarrelsome. So, they used to make quarrels, disputes. That is very typical, disputative. So they never remains normal. They used to find it out some disputes. They used to find it out with some quarrels with others. Easily excited. That is their problem. They get very easily excited. Excitability is very much. Slightest thing offends them. They becomes easily irritable. Least contradiction angers. Underline this. If you contradict slightest, they get irritated, like anacardium, like cocculus, like ignatia, like belladonna. There are many more remedies. Even nux is also offended very easily. So they are slightest contradiction. They cannot tolerate the contradiction. They are very firm person. They like that it should happen like them. Amelioration from mental exertion. But when they are working hard, mentally specifically, they all things where they were forget. They have symptoms whenever they are alone, whenever they are not working. But whenever they are busy with mind, they are happy. This is the very typical mental state which he has mentioned in the first paragraph only. The constitution also he has mentioned. He has mentioned about the temperament over there and the mental state of the person. One more thing, see, this is very important sentence. One should not forget. Irritability, slightest noises like crackling of the paper drive him to despair. So sensitive, very sensitive to the noise, crackling of papers. So if anyone is reading the paper and he's making the noise of the papers and they irritate, you stop. This is the irritability. The reaction is very strong, instantaneous. Like asaram, like theridion, these are very sensitive to the noises. Asaram and theridion, it penetrates inside, makes them despair, makes them to react. That sensitivity, you can find it out with asaram and theridion. Tarantula, he has mentioned here tarantula. Tarantula is also one remedy where sensitivity to noise is there, but theridion is more marked than tarantula. Women who are weak, delicate, chlorotic means anemic, it have fiery red face. They are anemic, but face shows redness. That is called as false plethora, pseudo plethora, or false plethora. So you will find that face is red, but it is not red actually. It is just false redness. If you check the hemoglobin is absolutely less. If you see the palms, they are absolutely white. If you see the conjunctiva, you will find that pallor is there. If you ask them to open the tongue, it looks pale. But face is looking red. And that's why this remedy, it is called as pseudoplethoric remedy. Extreme paleness of the face, lips, mucous membranes, which become red and flushed on the least pain, emotion or exertion. See, pallor is there, but whenever they get excited because of anything, they have fight with someone, they had some disturbance, they had some good news, they had some bad news, something happened. And whenever such something happens, they suddenly gets excited, and that excitability reflects in the form of pseudoplethora. Then their face becomes red, or sometimes it becomes red and pale alternatively. Both things you can get over there in this remedy. So this is very typical with this remedy. Blushing means redness, flushes, amyl nitrate, coca, blushing, the complete redness, heat you can see on the faces. That is very typical with this remedy. So see, even though the remedy is for anemia, the false plethora you can see. So you have to clinically examine. You should not just look toward the face and you find yes, a patient is red. No, not like that. That's why the importance of clinical knowledge is so important. So you must check the pulse, you must check the conjunctiva, you must see the tongue, you must see the palms, you must see the mucous membranes, where you can find it out the pallor in case of Ferrum Metallicum. Erythetic, erythetic chlorosis means what? Erythetic chlorosis. Chlorosis is anemic, but looks like red. Anemia is there, but looks like red. That is what is called as pseudoplethora. Aggravated in every winter, worse in winter. That is modality. So winter aggravation is typical with the Ferrum Metallicum. Red part becomes white, the face, the lips, the tongue, the mucous membranes of the mouth. So it looks red, and if you just check, and then you will find that they are absolutely pale. So actually there is pallor. Actually there is anemia. but it is a false redness which comes out. And that's why one might get deceived because of it. So you should not get deceived. You just check clinically and you can find it out there. Then the vertigo. Vertigo is very important. This remedy has vertigo with balancing sensation as if on water. On seeing flowing water, there is a vertigo. Vertigo on seeing the flowing water. There was one patient who told me this modality. Doctor, when I look towards water, it doesn't matter. But if it is flowing water, I feel vertigo. I cannot go to the river. It is flowing. But if it is pond, I will go. See the difference. If there is flowing water, he used to get the vertigo. That is characteristic of this. These are the peoples who cannot pass the bridges. Or if they are going on bridges, they never look outside. They keep their head down, never look sideways. That is very typical with this. So this is one important thing one should not forget. Vertigo on seeing flowing water when walking over the water as when crossing a bridge like lysing. But lysing, it is different. Lysine, it is the fear of water. That is lysine, it is hydrophobia. Stramonium, lysine, belladonna, these are the remedies for hydrophobia. But this is not the remedy. This is not hydrophobia. Here it is very specifically the flowing water that produces vertigo. And that vertigo is because of that vertigo, he is fearful. Vertigo on descending. What is vertigo on descending? Coming down from the staircase, looking down from above, they get vertigo. Like fear of dread of downward motion, borax, sanicula, dread of downward motion. Here the same, here there is a vertigo when looking down, characteristically in Ferrum Metallicum. Headache. This is a wonderful remedy for migraine headache. And I have tried it many times. If you are not getting solution, one dose of Ferrum Met always makes changes in the patient. So keep it in your mind. If nothing is working, think of one dose of Ferrum Met. Rajesh Shah, Dr. Rajesh Shah, he has very nicely explained about migraine in his book. Ferrum Met had headache, which is hammering. Hammering as if someone is hammering over the head. Beating, pulsating. Pulsating means throbbing. Thanakla circle. Pulsating pain. Must lie down. Patient must lie down, otherwise it used to aggravate. Headache with aversion to eating or drinking. Headache is there, but patient doesn't want to eat. Patient doesn't want to drink. That much strong headache is there. Headache for 2, 3, or 4 days. So attacks of migraine generally they used to remain for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Long-lasting headache remaining for 3, 4 days. It is typical of a migraine. In certain people, if this happens, then you must think about the Ferrum Metallicum. So headache for 2, 3, 4 days every 2 or 3 weeks. That is characteristic. It used to happen every 2, 3 weeks. It is periodical headache. Migraine, which happens to be there periodically. Migraine used to happen producing a severe type of throbbing, pulsating, hammering pain associated with vertigo, associated with many times vomiting, associated many times loss of appetite. Even they cannot think of eating, drinking. Such type of severe headache is typical of this remedy. So this is a wonderful remedy for migraine headache. Very deep acting remedy, and many times it recovers the patient from such a condition. If you look that patient is having such a migraine and patient is looking anemic, always think of Ferrum Metallicum. Anemia is markedly associated with this. With if it is so severe that anemic murmur you can listen, then think about the Ferrum Met directly. I think we'll stop over here and then tomorrow we'll continue and we'll finish this remedy. This is a wonderful remedy, has many aspects, many details, My suggestion, you must read this remedy from the even Borix Mat Remedica. Nash has given many perspectives about this remedy. He has mentioned two remedies together, Ferrum Metallicum and Ferrum Aceticum. He says that action is very close to each other, and that's why he mentioned two remedies at a time in one as a one remedy. So I mentioned many things about this remedy. So go through that also. So these are things which we have learned about this remedy. Tomorrow we'll continue with few more things and complete the remedy. If any query is there, yes, we'll have definitely a chat. Otherwise, we'll conclude. Any question?
Sir, which book you have said, like, to refer, 80 pages book one?
Ferrum Met by Dr. Rajesh Shah.
Okay.
It's a very good book, Ferrum Met, very good. In fact, I like his writing. He used to write very nicely.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
So that's all for today. Good night and
Excuse me, sir.
Happy
Shall I
New
call
Night,
Year.
you
sir. Good
after
night.
completing?
Yes,
Hello? Shall
yes.
I call you after completing this meeting?
After 10 minutes, I have one more
Ah,
call.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Good night.